What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. I guess that's kind of redundant because I said welcome in the beginning, but it's okay. It's Thursday. Amazing stuff. We've been here all week. How you guys doing? What's up, chat? How's it going? Amazing stuff. Do me a favor really quick. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smackdown on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. You can do it now. Please do it now. Amazing stuff. Let's get right into it. Topics to be covered. Yesterday, we talked about the problem with the Christian church, and we got into the details and what I believe the problem with the Christian church is and how it's been hijacked and how the Christians don't necessarily truly believe what they think they believe, and they study the Bible, and when you study the Bible, you only remember things and you don't truly understand it. So we got into the details of that, and it was deep. You know what I mean? So if you want to watch that, you can podcast that or watch the YouTube video, episode 52, and you can do that later. Amazing stuff. Today's topic, Bill, it just turned the dang tornado on me. So today's topic is the truth about, I just don't want it to hit me because it's just uncomfortable. So today's topic is the truth about dating apps. The truth about dating apps. So I had a good friend of mine told me, you should talk about dating apps. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I have to talk about that. And I'm doing it today. So shout out to my really good friend who gave me the tip. We're going to get into it. You can call in at 888-775-3773, and we could talk about the topics at hand or previous shows or whatever topic you want to talk about. We can get into it. 888-775-3773. If you cannot call in for whatever reason, but you still have a question or comment, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, and you can send your question or comment there, or just support the show. You can send a donation in the form of a donut. buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. Or if you want it in the most convenient way, you can send a super chat directly on YouTube in the chat box there with your question or comment. I will read it live on air. Shout out to the chat yesterday who was going crazy with the donations. Much appreciated. More than you guys know. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will read those live on air. Amazing stuff. I think that's all for the announcements. I am on audio podcast as well, so if you want to listen to me on audio only, because it's easier and simpler for you, then I am on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those good stuff. You can just look up Joel Friday TV or Joel Friday TV Podcast, and you'll find me on the audio-only podcast service platforms. Right on. So let's get to it. We got some callers calling in. Amazing stuff, callers. I will get to you. Let me lay the groundwork really quick. So the truth about dating apps. So I want to say this really quick before we really dive into it. It's not wrong. I don't think that it's wrong. And it's your choice. Okay. I don't think that dating apps are wrong, and it is your choice. Okay. I just think that there's some causes and effects that comes from these dating apps that I'm going to bring to you, that I just want you guys to consider, right? And we can just fellowship about it. And this is just my opinion and what I believe, but I'm going to give you some examples, and you can let me know what you think. And if the shoe fits, amen. And if not, it's all good. So, in my opinion, I've never been on the dating apps. And the reason why is just because I do believe, like I said, there's cause and effects to these things that are counterproductive to the growth of a person. And it's not that big of a deal, right? Because you can do what you want. But I think the examples I'm going to bring today are going to solve a lot of maybe unanswered questions for those that can't seem to understand why certain things just aren't working. Certain things aren't working out when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to approaching women, when it comes to sliding in the DMs, when it comes to all that. I think questions will be answered, if the Lord is willing, after the examples that I'm going to bring. Okay? A few things. The first one, I think that when you go on a dating app, whether it's Tinder, Match, Bumble, and Cupid, something, whatever it is, whatever those ones are, when you go on that, the reason why we go on that in the first place, just think about that. Think about the reason why you go on in the first place. There's a loneliness, right? And the loneliness, all loneliness is, and this is the reason why people do dating apps in general, right? Part of the reason is there's a loneliness. And what the loneliness is just a feeling, right? Loneliness does not exist. If you really get to the bottom of it, loneliness does not exist. All loneliness is a feeling. And a feeling that we attach the word lonely to, right? but it's just a feeling. And back in the day, before all these dating apps happened, you would just have to just go through that feeling, go through it, and endure it. And when you endured the feeling and it passed, you weren't lonely anymore. You were just regular. But now that we have all these different things we can latch onto, we feed this feeling of loneliness, right? And typically that comes from like the thoughts. The thoughts are saying, I'll never find somebody, or it would be nice if I just had somebody with me right here to hang out with, to spend time with. The thoughts tell you all these things, right? And all those things sound so good. So then you start to feel it as if it's happening, right? And you start to imagine what that would be like if you met this person or if you're around this person. We all go through it. And then you look at your current circumstances and you realize that that's not the case. And then now you feel lonely, right? But we don't catch or realize that it was just all a setup. So what we're supposed to do is go through it and let it pass. And then we get back to life, get back to work. But that doesn't happen. What happens? We feed that quote unquote loneliness. Now we jump on the dating app. And now we rely on these new dating apps. And what happens? What does going on these dating apps do? Unconsciously, it does this, and we don't know it. That's why we always got to watch ourselves. Unconsciously, going on these dating apps makes you needy. You need something to make you feel better. You need something to satisfy this quote-unquote loneliness, this feeling, this false feeling. You need something to satisfy it. So you go to the dating app, and you have these conversations, and you meet new people, and you're constantly on it. But you don't realize that you're constantly on it. One date, two date, one girl, new guy, you're constantly on it. Not because you want love, but you want to feed this false feeling. So feeding the false loneliness is one of the cause and effects. The second one is dating apps stops the natural process of life, right? This is my favorite one. Because this is hard, right? This is hard for everybody. And I'm speaking for myself as well. It stops the natural process of life. The reason why nobody is around you, or you don't have like a significant other, or you're not in a relationship, is because you're not supposed to be right now. And that's okay. There's a reason why you're not. And you're supposed to just be in the present. And this is how we have to work our way to this, obviously, right? It doesn't come, we're not perfect in it yet. We don't walk perfect in it, but you're supposed to just be in the present the best you can, go to work, do what's in front of you to do, the natural things that's in front of you to do, and not reach outwardly to try to make things happen that aren't in front of you right now. You know what I mean? Things happen when they're supposed to happen. And when things happen when they're supposed to happen, it happens the right way. That's why we say when things come to us, that's why we're like, man, that was such a blessing. Or, man, I'm so grateful for this. Because it comes when it's supposed to, and it comes in the right way, and it's real. It's the real deal, right? There's no phoniness to it. It doesn't shake. It's more grounded than when you force it. But the alternative is when you rush the process, when you go to the dating app and you run to the dating app, or you run to go talk to the girl here, talk to the girl or whatever. When you rush it, all you're doing is rushing straight into hell, straight into a toxic situation. right? And it doesn't always end up toxic as in like to an extreme degree, right? But there's something that's still off about it. You know it. I know it when I haven't been on the dating apps, but I know when I've stepped out of the natural process of life, something just feels off, like it's just not working. Or I'm working so hard to try to make it work, right? It's because that's not what's for us. That's not what's in my opinion, it's not what's in front of us to do. And we're only chasing it because we want to feel better. We're not just letting life happen. We're trying to control life, right? Make it fit to our needs and our desires instead of letting it be, letting life go, having faith. And that process brings you true love, true peace, perfect peace, and walking in perfect love when you just trust the natural process of life, because God is in control of everything, right? So let things happen the way they're supposed to happen, and when you rush them, you're only rushing to get right into hell. That's the second one, stopping the natural process of life. The third one, and then I'll stop here for a second and get to maybe a call or two. The third one is it stills the dating apps, rushing to the dating apps stills your courage, especially for men, your courage to interact with people. You know what I mean? Like, part of the process of building confidence, and I mean by like just understanding the ability that it's okay to talk to people. It's okay to, or just the comfortability of having conversations, interacting with people, right? Part of that process is interacting with people in person, right? Because anybody could talk on the phone, anybody can text, right? But when you're in person, can you conduct yourself in the proper way? Meaning not overreact, not get embarrassed or too embarrassed or too shy, act too weird. The only way you overcome those things is if you face them in person. But if you never have the opportunity to talk to people, it doesn't even have to be a relationship, but just approach people in general. But you can't because that fear is holding you back, because you don't know if you're gonna get rejected. You don't know if it's gonna work out. But the more you do it, just like anything, the more repetition, the more you realize that fear of what? They're not sure how it's going to go, just like you're not sure how it's going to go. But you'll never develop that confidence if you just always run into breaking the ice with the apps, whether it be on Instagram, Tinder, whatever. You know what I mean? And typically, not even typically, 100% of the time, when you're out in the public and you meet people unintentionally, you enjoy the moment a lot better than when you were doing anything else. You appreciate it more. And I think Gen Z has it really bad, is that they grew up on the internet, right? So they don't know what it's like to really interact besides like high school and stuff like that, right? But they're very awkward. They're very awkward kids. I was awkward as a kid too, but they're very awkward as kids. They're not very active. They don't really go outside and play. That was a crazy one to me. I have siblings that are Gen Z. I have multiple siblings that are Gen Z. And they weren't very active growing up. Some of them were, but they just don't have an interest. And that's stunting that has stunted their growth in interacting with people and developing relationships and all that stuff. So we just gotta get back to what's real and not get carried away with these things. Like, if you want to have fun here and there, I don't even recommend that. I don't recommend the dating apps at all, to be honest. But I'm not your daddy. I'm not your mama. So everybody should do what they want to do. But remember, just don't lose sight of what is real, what is reality. Conversation, real going out in public. I'd much rather somebody go meet somebody at a bar than to go on a dating app, because at least you're in person. You know what I mean? Get out in the world. And if you don't want to get out in the world, don't get out in the world. And guess what? It'll still happen for you. And I'm gonna get to that point in a second. But let me just take a call and I'm gonna finish that point on the solution I think that would help solve a lot of problems. So let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Hey Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, sir. This is a great topic, man. I like it.
Right on.
Dating apps.
Appreciate
and
it.
I got a little experience with it, and I was just gonna tell my experience, I guess.
Share with us, man.
Huh?
I said share with us.
I remember on your show last year, you played that clip with that little guy, I Show Speed, when he was with his prom date.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and like how he was like awkward with her.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of disagree with you on that. I think it's been like that since the beginning of time. Like all generations.
What? Like just what part?
Like just like men and women, especially young men and women, just interacting. It's that awkward. It's there's always going to be that awkwardness there because men want one thing. You know, that's the one thing that's on our mind, right?
Yeah.
And that's what
winning the prize.
That's what makes. Yeah.
Right.
That's what because I know when I first started listening to Jesse, one of the things that blew my mind was where I realized what he had said that the only reason men have anything to do with women is because they want one thing from her. And that kind of
right.
That kind of blew my mind.
Right.
You know, that's like the deep. This was back when you was doing Hassan's job.
Yeah. Audio engineer.
That's when I first started listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something everybody don't want to say. You know, like men want, especially teenage men, young men our age.
That's a good point.
We want that one, and that's the whole theme for Bond this year, right? Don't want for nothing, right? So we want something from that girl, and it makes it awkward. I think that's why that I Show Speed guy was awkward.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're 100% right on that. That tends to be because of that exact reason, that tends to be the reason why we tend to be awkward, because we don't want to lose the prize. We want to win the prize. So I think there is a awkwardness that's always going to come. My thing is, I think that I Show Speed situation, I don't know him, so I can be wrong, but I think that there's an extreme case. He seems like an extreme case. And it seems like at 18, 19, however old he was, to be that nervous, it showed just a little bit of a lack of experience, lack of interactions, in-person interactions with females. At least that's what it seemed like. So I think that, there's always going to be that there. You're right about that. But also, we're not doing any justice by it if we're constantly on these, apps that don't
devices.
Yeah, you know, the apps that just don't allow you to develop that confidence. You know what I mean? In talking to a girl, or just being able to be around a female and conduct yourself, even if you want the prize. You know what I mean? Like, and not even letting yourself get carried away with trying to win the. You know what I mean? Like being aware of it. So I don't know. It's just an interesting thing, but we all go through it. But I wanted to ask really quick.
Mm-hmm.
When you were on the, I don't know if you're still on the dating apps or not, but what was
Plenty of Fish was the last one I was on, and that was like 5 years ago.
Okay, and
5 years ago. Yeah,
and what
not
made
anymore.
you? What made you get on that? Hop on the dating.
Yeah,
apps?
it was just like you said, like the loneliness mixed with, wanting the S word. Mixture of that, and then just wanting to fit in. You want to get it. Everybody wants a girl, or a significant other.
I can't talk right now, but yeah, bring it up. I can't talk right now. Hold on one second, Josh. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Jesse Lee Peterson came in and made a good point. I'm gonna bring it to you guys in a second, but go ahead, Josh.
Okay, but yeah, Plenty of Fish. You heard of that one? Is that one still even around?
I never.
That one there went out.
There's like 100, so I can't even tell you which ones. I'm not sure, but for you were saying
it's just so cheap because I used to talk to 50 different girls in one day.
Yeah.
That fake conversation. So what you do? So how's life treating? That artificial conversation. And I finally met a girl on there, and that was like one of my serious girlfriends. But I think that it feels like that jinxed it from the start that I met her off of Plenty of Fish.
So then, to get your opinion, because I haven't been on the apps, but you have a little bit of experience on them.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to find the person, your wife or husband, on those apps? Do you think it's possible that you can get lucky and end up finding what you're looking for?
I'd say no.
And why? And why not? And why not?
Because she's automatically judging you as a beta from day one.
Interesting.
It's like you automatic. And that when I was on that app, it's like the women on those apps, they want a beta dude. They want a weak dude like that.
Interesting
Yeah,
point.
I was unemployed at that time. Oh, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, you think that they know that right off the bat that
they don't want you to be like a decent person. They want an unemployed guy. When I was on the app, I was unemployed. I was getting food stamps. I didn't have a car. I was living with my mom, and those women on those apps, they love guys like that they can come pick up and control.
Man, and I think that what's crazy is I think that they know that them being on the apps, let's just say for the females, for example, they know that when they're on the apps that something's off and that they're they're looking for something and they're a little bit desperate and needy, right? And they know that. But so then when they meet a guy who's doing the same thing as them, they're automatically judging because they know themselves the reason why they're on there. And when they see the guy, it's like, interesting point.
Yeah,
Jeff.
My last girl, they get addicted to that judging the guy. And they like him. They like for me to be weak because that's what she wants. She wants to look down on you and feel good about herself.
Man.
Yeah, it's an addiction. That's her little secret addiction. She's secretly judging.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, great point, Josh. I appreciate you calling in with that take on it.
Okay, no problem, man. Great show, bro.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, bro.
Man, that's probably the fourth cause and effect I'm about to add. He just added it. That's the whole thing right there. It's like the judgment about it. Women know that the reason why they're going on there. Men know the reason why they're going on there. Men are just a little bit more naive at what's really going on. Like, men are so easily more caught up in their sexual drive about things that they don't care to stop and think of why. They just want to get their get their rocks off, right? But the women aren't as oftentimes, most times, women aren't as often sexually driven as men are. So they're able to see a little bit clearer on what's going on. So they know why they're on there. So when they meet a guy that's on there, then they're automatically kind of judging him. You know what I mean? Because they're like, well, he's just my company. He's my comfort. Are we getting into it today? Maybe that's why my viewership is going down. Not everybody want to hear this today. Man. But I think I have the solution. And mind you, keep in mind that like everybody's going through this in some form of another. It doesn't have to be a dating app that they're dealing with, but they're dealing with their emotions and ego too. So nobody's exempt and nobody should be pointing the finger, right? But this is what I'm realizing. Is that the more you just let go and the more you just let the process happen, the better off you are. Hold on, Nick says something here. I want to get to it. He says, that just means we're old. It's always a new way. It's always a new way of dating. It evolves. It's supposed to be a young man's game anyway. I don't know what you mean about that, Nick. He said, forget the apps. But he said that the app game has evolved. If you want to expand on it, Nick, you can come in. Or if you just want to write it, it's up to you. But if you want to, yeah, you come in. So Nick had made a comment here. Before I get to that last part, Nick made a comment here, and I just want to.
It's confusing because you were talking about something else. You were just talking about like the internet and then being on the internet.
Can you throw Nick up on there?
I don't think you can with the way you're doing it now.
Oh.
Don't worry, we'll get that figured out.
Okay.
It's been crispy, your whole stream, no sync issues, so that's been nice.
Okay, perfect.
But you were talking about the internet basically, and that they're raised on the internet. They have a different personality, but that's just, I guess we're just old. But that's not a commentary on the dating apps. You're right about that.
But like when you mean that
so you're talking about something else.
The internet thing, and when you say that we're just old, meaning that we just don't know how to use it, so we don't understand like they do.
Like they live there in some sense, and so the women do too. The girls do too, and they just interact differently. This is a different way of dating. And I'm not saying dating apps are good. I'm saying their internet personality, and
so like, do you think that
I forget what you were saying. Sorry.
You think that it can be done in a normal way? Do you think
dating apps? No.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So the conversation, the moment was. I'm derailing the show.
Okay.
Move on.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, so let me get to the last point. Is that you want to just let it go. From my experience, every great thing, every truly decent person that I know, that I had a really good either friendship with, connection, whatever you want to call it, right? Every person that's been in my life that I wanted to stay because it was what it needed to be was based off of it just fell in my lap. Hold on. Why do you keep interrupting?
Oh, I thought you were on break.
No. Text me. Text it to me.
Oh, okay.
Because now I got to get my flow. What the?
The show shouldn't be so good to get my attention.
Oh, I can't be mad at that. But can you like text me?
What?
Can you text me in the chat or something? Oh, tell me real quick since you're already here.
No. I text you.
Okay.
Hey, mama.
What the? Jesse Peterson, folks. Jumping in. And he don't know how to do the little text thing, but he got, what the? Anyway, let me get back to it. let it happen naturally. Let it fall into your lap. Every experience that I've been through, a person I met that I still know to this day that I've known for long term, just fell in my lap. Everything will fall in your lap. God will add everything for you, and you just fall in your lap. And I'm learning this myself. All things, no matter what it is, we're not supposed to think and wonder or worry about not one thing in this entire world. It'll all just happen and fall into place, and you won't skip a beat. You won't have to double take. You won't have to make sure you missed it. It'll just land right in your lap. But guys, mostly guys, but girls as well, think that, well, it's just not going to happen if I don't make the move. And I used to think that too, but it's not true. It is not true. It's going to happen the right way when you get out the way. And let it happen. Let it land in your lap. And that's when life has taken its course, and you're just letting it come to you. And when you have it, till death do you part. That's the best way to go about it. And doesn't mean that during that process, it's not going to be hard and you're not going to want to have somebody around. I went through all that stuff. Have somebody around and want to feel better and miss having a girlfriend, boyfriend, and want a family, want to get married. Doesn't mean that's not going to happen, but it doesn't mean we have to act upon it. Let it pass. Let it die, because that's just the ego tempting you. That's just the enemy in your mind tempting you to want to step off your course and bring you straight to hell. I'm telling you guys. It'll be added into your lap and you'll be so grateful that you waited. What is that quote that we all know about? All good things come to those who wait. All good things come to those who wait. You just gotta wait. I'm learning myself. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out myself. But this one thing I do know, God will add it. And there's another thing that I do know for a fact, that when he adds it, it's the real deal. No doubt, no nothing. Till death do you part. So, anyway, I hope that made sense. I'm going to get to some more calls. Let me see if there's any super chats. Any super chats here? Let me see. Let me check. No, but that's okay. You guys were showing love yesterday. But I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss you guys' super chats. Right on. Let me go to... never mind. Let me go to Colin. First time caller, I believe. I think so. Out of Chicago, Illinois. Colin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Joel? How's everything?
How's it going, man? All is well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm still here.
Right on.
I have a question. It's funny how
Turn the volume up a little bit.
I guess life goes apart, or like how life works, because I saw your I just saw your live stream, and it was about dating apps, and I just had a situation. Well, I am going on a situation with that right now, if we're honestly.
And explain.
So I met this girl on a dating site the past 2 weeks now, and we've been talking like on and off. We already have she already gave me her number, and we've been FaceTiming, and we've been doing like texting like regularly. But for some reason, like today, it's just been I don't know. Today it just seemed like she's kind of like being disinterested or whatever it is. It's just,
yeah.
She just don't want to text back or anything like that. Like, so like she just texted me like I think like 5 minutes ago, and she was just I could tell that she seemed kind of like disinterest. And then so I just told her straight up, like, hey, like, what's going on, what's happening? And she said, oh, no, I'm not really disinterested. It's just that I'm just going through some phases where my energy is not there as much, or I'm just busy or anything. So I just told her straight up that, you're busy. I don't want to be a priority. So just like hit me up whenever you're free, and this is that and the third.
Yeah.
But is it kind of weird? My question to you is, and this is something my dad and also my mom also told me too, because my mom and my dad also told me, they were like, I don't think you should be getting a girl from dating sites because it's filled with just crazy girls on there, and these are women that they don't have their life together in a way. So don't go for it. I mean, do what you want, but just don't go for it. And but I don't know, with this girl, it's just different. It's kind of like she's everything that I kind of wanted on a girl, but
yeah.
And the thing is, usually when it comes to dating apps, when you're, let's say, I don't know your experience with it, but when you're ever like match up with a girl, right, and you just text, either you're getting read on or it just doesn't happen.
Right.
But when it came to me and this girl, it was just like instant. It's just like what you just said. It was natural in a way. We just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Texting, and out of nowhere, she just asked me for my number, and then we went on from there. And like we've been FaceTiming for the past like 2 weeks now, and it's just weird. So I kind of wanted to ask you: is it still? What should I do in this situation? I don't know what to do.
And you said that she just needs some time, or what was her response?
She just said that she's not disinterested. It's just that she's going through phases that her energy is not there, and she's always on the phone, and like she's busy most of the time. Yeah. So that's about it. And I just told her straight up, I don't want to be a priority. That you always gotta hit me up and this and that. So I just told her straight up, like, just hit me up whenever you're free. That's really about it.
So here's the thing.
That's how I feel in my way.
So here's the thing. In all honesty, is that guys have to keep in mind this. And I don't know her, and I don't know her situation. And maybe she's telling the truth, or maybe she's not. But we have to understand this: is that girls, especially on the dating apps, but girls in general, have way more options than guys do. Way more options. So guys would tend to feel things a little bit stronger, especially nowadays. Guys would tend to feel things a little bit stronger than the girl is. Not that she doesn't have stronger feelings, but it's just because if it don't work out with you, she got some other ones in the cut. You know what I mean? Other ones waiting to... She has a bunch, and a lot of girls are like, not all of them are like that, right? Not all of them are like that, but they have options. So they're not in a hurry to rush things with you. They're not even in a hurry to even find out if you're somebody who they want to marry. They just love the attention. And to be honest, to even get on the dating app, in my opinion, in the first place, is to want attention, to want those needs to be met, right? And if you want that, you're not willing to wait for whatever's meant for you to have. So I'm not saying that you should stop talking to her, because you should see that for yourself if you need to stop talking to her, or when, or if it's not working out, or whatever the case is, because it sounds like you want it to work out. But I will say this, is that we don't know what we want. So when we think that all these things are matching up, like meaning like, oh, I like that about her, or she has this quality that I want, all the things that I want in a girl, like you said, we don't know what we want. That's why God has to add things to our lives, because he adds things that benefit us, that add to our life, not based off of desires or things that don't last long, that are temporary. So that's why you want to know that you know that you know. You don't want to have to guess or even have to question whether it is or not. You want to know that you know. So I would try not to I would just do my best to watch the thought. And I get it. The feelings just kind of take over because I'm sure you want a decent girl and you want to move forward and have a decent life. But I would just suggest that you just watch your thoughts and not to get too caught up. I think it's good that you told her, like, we just need to chill and let's not make it a big deal and leave it at that. And don't text her again. Don't try to check up on her and see how she's doing. Like, she's not giving you that extra, she's not giving you the attention that you're giving her. Then let her go. Don't try to control it. Don't try to do anything. As a matter of fact, as far as you know, she doesn't want to talk anymore. Right? And she may say it's just her, she just needs a break or whatever the case is, but at this very moment, she doesn't want to talk. She's not that interested. So give her that space. And then if anything changes, see what happens from there. But I don't think that you should be worried about it at all and not even focus your time on it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that makes sense because it's those weeks before, it was just, she was just, I don't know, the attention that I was giving it to her, she was like giving that to me back in a way. She was always checking up on me and see how I was doing, this is that. And then, I don't know, today it just feels, I mean, it started really yesterday. Yesterday, it was just like, she just, I don't know what happened. It just, I guess it went, we went so close to the sun, and then out of nowhere, we just went down afterwards. So I don't know what happened. I just told her today because I just got out from the hospital, and she was checking up on me and seeing I was good, and I told her I was all right. But I just told her I just don't want her to think that I'm a priority, and you always gotta hit me up and do this. Hit me up whenever you feel like you're ready to be, like whenever you want to feel like you want to talk and everything. And that's about it. But I don't feel. It was kind of like I was getting caught in the thigh a little bit, but then I had to bring myself back. I was like, well, I'm just right now. We're not really official or anything. We were just talking, and that's about it. And yeah.
Well, keep in mind this too. At the same time, she knows, and I don't know if oftentimes I don't know if she's thinking this for sure. So I can't say she's for sure thinking this, but the ego nature loves the fact that you want her, and she's the one that's taking the space, and she whenever she's ready, she'll talk to you. She may not be thinking that. Maybe she has a genuine thing that she's dealing with, but her feelings, I'm sure, are up and down in general. For one, to even be on the app like that, her feelings are already super involved, right? And she liked you at one point, and now she doesn't like you, and then she liked you at one point. You know what I mean? It's not stable, and you don't want that type of situation because that's a confused person, and it shouldn't be based off of, the whole feelings thing. I'm not saying you got to like cut her off, but be aware of all these things, be aware of all these signs, and pay attention to these things because they may just be telling you right in front of you. It may be evident that it might not be the right situation, but that's for you to decide and to know that you know. But yeah, like you said, just don't think about it too much. Don't wonder what she's, call her again or anything like that. Just let it be what it needs to be.
Right.
Yeah.
I am just taking the approach of like, if it happens, it happens.
Right on.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. Honestly, like I'm not trying to force, because I've been listening to you guys. I've been listening to you and Jesse for a long time, and I've realized what you guys say is like just let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
And don't force it. So that's really what this whole approach was.
Yeah.
For me and her, I haven't been really forcing anything on her or anything like that.
Right on. Not to cut you off, man, but I got to keep the calls rolling here, and my time is cutting short. But
right.
I'll just say this really quick. Call me again and let me know how it goes. But just to say it's gonna all make sense for you in soon anyway. Obviously, it seems like you're paying attention to yourself and you're watching yourself, watching your thoughts. So I wouldn't stress it. Like, and I know you know not to stress it, but it'll all make sense soon, and you'll know what to do next, and you won't even have to doubt it or question or anything. So call me again and let me know how it goes, Collins.
I got you. I will.
All right, man. All right, bye. Really quick, let me go to. And I got a text from here and making a good point saying, if it doesn't happen on its own, let it go. Great point. So that's to Colin. If it doesn't happen on its own, just let it go. Don't force it. Don't try to make it happen. And it seems like you see that you need to just chill. So just do that. If it's not happening naturally, don't put too much emphasis on it. Let me go to Scotty real quick. First time caller out of South Carolina. Scotty, a little bit of time here. How you doing?
Hey, Joel, I appreciate you having me, man. I'll make it brief.
Yeah.
So as far as this online dating goes, just try to tell my experience quick as possible. So for me, I never was the type of kid that had cooties or nothing like that.
Right.
I wasn't scared of talking to girls, like girlfriends, stuff like that. And as I growing up, I always had female friends and stuff like that, a lot of women. And I was in a relationship for a while, and we had a daughter, and she got mixed up in some things, and so I have full custody of my daughter now. And I've had her for 3 years now. I didn't want to bring women in front of her and things like that. And I own my own small business, so I'm always busy, right? So I got on this online dating site for the first time. I think it was about a year ago, a year and a half. And I started to make these women, when I would meet these girls online, I would get a high from it, a super high. I was like, oh, man, look at this. She didn't have to look that good.
Right.
And I'm still oh, man, look at this girl.
Man.
And then when I'm meeting girls in public and they look better than the girls online, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I got 5 basic girls on the side. And it became a game, and I was taking care of my daughter and my business, and they're always on my mind. You know what I mean? I'm as soon as my phone goes off, I'm is that her? No, that ain't her.
Man.
But long story short with that, man, I won't keep you up. I never met a girl online. I just had a bunch I'm playing with, but it got to the point where it was I was getting a high, I was a drug addict. And I was I never had an issue with talking to girls in person, but it's these girls online gave me a different feeling. So I had to cut it off completely. And I'm kind of going, like you said, just let it happen naturally.
Man.
I haven't, since I've had sole custody of my daughter for 3 years, I haven't met a girl. I'm just being patient, man, and just handling my business and doing what I'm supposed to do. So I wanted to, share my story and let any other people thinking about getting on these online sites.
Yeah.
It just ain't no good, man.
Man.
Even if you're shy or not shy of girls, that's why I wanted to call.
I appreciate it, Scott. It's such a great point. I want to add to it. I'm going to try to briefly add to it, but I got to end the show. Call me again. Great point that you added for me to end the show. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Man, such a great point. Think about this, and I got to end the show. American Anchor Baby is coming in right now. These apps are set up purposely, just like he said, as a game. It's supposed to feel exactly that. It's supposed to feel fun. It's supposed to feel quick. It's supposed to meet your desires quick and in a hurry, so you have options. So you're always constantly in this euphoric place of being because you have all these options. That's Satan. That's a setup. That's a setup. Do what you want. Live your life and experience it for yourself, and don't judge it as wrong. And now you're nah, I can't do it because somebody said it's wrong. No, do it if you do it and learn from it and learn for yourself, and don't judge yourself by doing it. Just find out for yourself. Have fun on it, but just be aware. And that way you can see for yourself and overcome or whatever you want to do with your life. But be aware. All right? I got to end. Thank y'all for watching. American Anchor Baby is coming in right now. Follow me across the boards, Joel Friday TV and The Gift of the Dance. I'm back here. No show tomorrow, but I'm back here on Monday for another week. I'll see you guys on Monday. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Bye. Oh. This is it.